Greetings, everybody, from Highland Heights, Kentucky at the NKU Soccer Stadium. Match Week 17 action in MLS Next Pro tonight sees FC Cincinnati 2 take on New York City FC 2. Sean St. Jacques, our entire crew, thrilled to have you with us. Two of the hottest, two of the best we have in MLS Next Pro in the East tangling tonight. And we're excited to see how this one plays out. For FC Cincinnati 2, after 2 seasons being towards the bottom of the MLS Next Pro table, they're right towards the top in second place right now in the East with 10 wins and 31 points to their name. They've won 9 of their last 10, including 4 straight, and New York City on the other side of the coin, coming off a little bit of a respite in MLS Next Pro. They see themselves here in the table in 8th position, but have a ton of games to make up, which could see them pole vault themselves all the way up as high, maybe even the top 3 themselves if Matt Pilkington's side can continue their solid run. They've won 3 straight, and they're unbeaten in their last 6 in 90 minutes of action in MLS Next Pro play. Something's got to give between these two tonight. Starting lineups for both teams. We begin with Tyrone Marshall's FC Cincinnati 2, and the first name that has to be brought up is Kenji Mbomedem, who's had a remarkable month of June and will hope to continue his strong scoring acumen in the month of July. 4 goals and 2 assists in the month of June. They'll be looking for him to do more good things tonight. Amir Daly and former New York City player Nico Benalcazar get starts in the midfield. Gail Gibert, and of course, one of their Iron Men as well, Brian Schaefer, lead the back line. Haven't seen them in so long, but they're back, New York City, under Matt Pilkington. So many stars to look out for. Taylor Calhera has been in a good run of scoring form. The young prodigy Maximo Carrizo is in the midfield with Jonathan Jimenez and Jake Rosansky being that sitting midfielder. He will be key as well. Samuel Owusu and Matthew Leong, 2 of the key defenders at the back, along with Bednarski and Tayo, guarding the goal occupied by William Meyer. Well, you look at the all-time series between these two. New York City has the upper hand. They've won 3 out of 4 over FC Cincinnati 2. But they haven't faced this Cincinnati. The last time these two have met was back in August of 2023. That was some time ago. Quite a bit has changed for Tyrone Marshall's side since then, and they're on arguably the best run of form in all of Next Pro right now. Talked about it, 4 wins in a row. They've won 9 of their last 10, and they're trying to chase down Philadelphia Union 2, remarkably, at the top of the Eastern Conference in MLS Next Pro. Will we see some rest or rust from New York City? It's always a tough question when you see a team be off for as long as they have been. At the game against Orlando postponed. The last time we saw New York City in action was June 12th. They got an impressive win at Toronto, which capped off a stretch of 3 straight wins, and again, unbeaten in their last 6 games that have finished in 90 minutes. So we're excited to see Matt Pilkington's side again, but we're also curious to see what they're going to look like against arguably the hottest team in MLS Next Pro. Alyssa Nichols is our head official. She is in red. The hosts, FC Cincinnati 2, are in their dark blues with the white numerals, and New York City FC 2 are in their road whites, as Cincinnati will be kicking us off, going from right to left here in Kentucky tonight. This one has a lot of intrigue around it. There's no question about that. Second in the East against 8th in the East. You could argue New York City, because of all the games in hand, have a chance to really jump up the table if they can continue where they left off in June. Cincinnati gets the party started here in Highland Heights. Sean St. Jacques, our entire crew, really appreciate you spending some of your Sunday with us. And Cincinnati's not going to waste any time getting into the final third. New York City is able to snuff it out quickly. Tyrone Marshall's side did something similar against New England, who traveled here last time out. This is the last of a 3-game homestand for FC Cincinnati. And we will see if they can make it yet another victory here. What Tyrone Marshall told us is becoming quite a fortress that they've been trying to build throughout the season. I think it's safe to say there's a few pillars that have been erected around the stadium, metaphorically speaking. So many teams have struggled here throughout the campaign. Early opportunity down this near side. Peter Mangione able to touch it past, keeps the ball in play, plays it across as well. But New York City are able to deal with it. They don't clear it, but they get it out of the 18-yard box. We had a chance to catch up with Matt Pilkington as well this week. He talked to us about how he gave the players a little bit of time off during this long stretch, and then they went right back to work. Haven't had too many opportunities, he told us, to really just train, work on our identity, work on what makes us good. And that's what they went to work on, to continue to fine-tune things, work on individual skills for individual players as well, just the individual growth. Got better during this time off, almost a full month without a competitive game. And he's hoping that players who have been able to recover from injuries and get closer back to full fitness or back to full fitness will help to allow his team to continue, I should say, the great run of form they were on before this stoppage of play. Of course, for FC Cincinnati, they probably didn't want the month of June to end. It was probably their best individual month in the club's history. They scored 8, only conceded 2. They had 2 clean sheets in the month of June, and Boumedienne had 4 goals and 2 assists, and they won all of their June games, their first perfect month in FC Cincinnati 2 history. And they're hoping to keep the summer vibes immaculate into the month of July. Here is Kenji Boumedienne. Scored the winner against New England last time out. That's the other part of Kenji Boumedienne's incredible run. He was off an injury, came back, scored all those goals, the 4 in the month of June. 3 of those goals were match-winning goals for Cincinnati. Not only is he scoring, he's winning games for Cincinnati. Tyrone Marshall talked to us multiple times about him and just says his soccer IQ, his intelligence is what jumps off the page and is what stands out the most when you see him play, his feel for the game. New York City have guys like that too, like Jonathan Jimenez, who tries to play it through for Ronald Arevalo. It's cut out and recovered by Steven Bednarski. Elias out wide, Taylor Calhera. He's been in a good vein of goal-scoring form himself as of late. He fends off a couple of challenges here from Cincinnati players. Jimenez tried to play it across for Bednarski. Cincinnati deals with it, and New York City are forced to go all the way back to William Meyer, who's in goal for New York tonight. Elias goes right back to work down the far side. Early ball into the penalty area. Arevalo arrives and plays it square. Calhera has it saved by Evan Loro. One of Cincinnati's first teamers in the Next Pro 11 tonight. His first action is a good save off the informed Calhera. Good turn and a decent strike as well. A floor scraper in the end. But had enough on it to force a good save. Owusu wins it off of Boumedienne. Calhera can't continue on, and it's sent ahead by Brian Schaefer, who continues to play every minute for Cincinnati this season. Now then, on this near side, challenge comes in from Matthew Leong. It's out for a corner for Cincinnati. Guilherme Santos able to make some headway, and it's a set-piece opportunity for Tyrone Marshall's group. One of the big things that's allowed Cincinnati to go on this run is the balance, the ability to be really aggressive in the attack, to go after teams, but also to get back into their shape. And he's so stout defensively. That's been a huge key to this Cincinnati run, as that one's going to curl out of play. We'll go back to New York City. There is a City player down inside the penalty area. Should mention that Matt Pilkington does tend to bring smaller groups of players with him on the road. He's actually attributed that to some of the road success that New York City's had at times this season. It's been a tight-knit group, a consistent group on the road, and that's what's helped to lead to more chemistry, some camaraderie, and success. But in moments like this, with Jonathan Jimenez down, it does leave Matt Pilkington with some fewer options at times. Another look at the collision. Looks like three players actually made contact with each other, but Jimenez got the worst of it. Looking at his left leg. And Jimenez, for those that have been following New York City FC2 on and off this season, 4 goals and 3 assists in the league, but he also was so instrumental in their deep run in the Lamar Hunt US Open Cup as well. Scored the winning goal against the Colorado Springs Switchbacks to get them deep in the competition. They pulled off a few notable upsets, including beating Hartford Athletic along the way before New Mexico United, also of the USL Championship, knocked them out. But there's no shame in that. They're the top team in the Western Conference right now, in the second tier. We'll have to see if Matt Pilkington will have to go to his depth in this situation. Jimenez is back up onto his own 2 feet, which is good to see. Of course, if New York City doesn't make a change, Jimenez will have to take a couple of minutes to recover. This is the MLS Next Pro 2-minute rule, potentially. Again, that comes down to Matt Pilkington if he wants to make a change. And of course, the medical staff. What we do know is it's going to be a reset from a goal kick for New York. Hopefully Jonathan Jimenez is okay. Such an incredibly important part to what New York City have done in multiple competitions this season. You can see top of your screen, midfield line, he is still being looked after. So that'll go on for a couple of minutes, and while Matt Pilkington mulls it over, New York City will be down to 10. It does provide a window of opportunity here for Cincinnati. Gael Gibert plays it square to Steven Jimenez. London Ag-Edu has time and space. Jimenez. Ag-Edu is forced back. Good pressure there from New York City. Schaefer, who's been a cornerstone of that Cincinnati defense, plays a good ball up ahead and forces Meyer to make a stop. Meyer gets back between the posts. Jimenez plays it out wide. Curled into the middle, it's a headed shot, and it's wide of the post off the head of Santos. 2 big chances here for Cincinnati. Awkward moment here, but William Meyer does so well. And Bomadem was the target. What a great build-up after that from Cincinnati. Guilherme Santos was the target of this great ball in by Daly and just couldn't put it on frame. New York City survive that Cincinnati onslaught. Schaefer sends the ball back, up ahead. Meyer likely to be called upon again, but this time it's well shielded by the retreating Samuel Owusu. Owusu up ahead, headed out for a throw into New York as Jonathan Jimenez is back on the pitch for New York City, who are back to full strength. And hopefully Jimenez can continue on as the match progresses. Keep an eye on that. Another good crowd here in Highland Heights, Kentucky. FC Cincinnati, not just with the first team, the next pro side, one of the best fan bases around Major League Soccer. They always have been, even going back to their USL days. Had that incredible Open Cup run themselves way back when. And now look where they are. It really is a remarkable last, well, really 6-7 years or so. Jimenez, acrobatic kick over his head to get it upfield. Santos is not able to get past the challenge from Bednarski. New York City are saying that that should be their throw, but Tyrone Marshall, Cincinnati contingent, not convinced. Another look. Pretty clear that it comes off Bednarski's head, but he claimed that there was a touch after that. Didn't look like there was from our angle on the near side. Santos follows up. Jimenez keeps the ball alive for the former New York City player and 41 in navy blue, Nico Benalcazar. That's a rash challenge on that far side. Leong penalized. Free kick for Cincinnati. Of course, Nico Benalcazar, captaining Cincinnati tonight, was New York City's captain for 2 seasons of MLS Next Pro action. Remember when Matt Pilkington had one of his first press conferences, Nico Benalcazar was part of that. Already identified as one of the New York City leaders. Goes up against his old squad here this evening. And from the set piece, it's another dangerous ball in. Owusu gets his head on it. Gorgeous touch from Benalcazar, who's brought down on the edge of the penalty area by Calhera. Free kick for Cincinnati in an even better position. Look, good header by Owusu. That was traveling. Pillow touch from Benalcazar and a bit of a clumsy touch from Calhera. Now Cincinnati have 2 good strikers of the ball on this. Peter Mangione looks like he's going to take charge. Mbomedem joins the queue. It's going to go right at goal, and it's headed away once again. And when it bounces out, it's going to be a Cincinnati corner again. Really well struck. You could actually see he was aiming for a teammate there. Mangione. New York City got ahead on it first. More pressure from FC Cincinnati. Corner is bent in again. Meyer's punch. Carrizo helps it along, only as far as Jimenez. Looped right back in. Ag-Edu centrally. It's poked ahead by Santos, and there wasn't enough in it to really trouble Meyer, who comes out and collects. Good spell of pressure from Cincinnati, but New York City weather the storm. Up ahead by Rosansky. Aravalo tries to switch the point of attack and does so successfully for Jimenez. Tayo joins in. Tayo across. It deflects off of Gilbert, then Tayo, was he dragged down? Jimenez continues on, and his cross is blocked by Gilbert. It stays in, Tayo follows up, and now he's fouled by Daly, and New York City have a free kick. Well, it's one of those challenges where you wonder if the ball was at the feet of Chris Tayo, New York City could have had a real case there at a penalty. Referee allowed New York City to continue on. We'll get another look at it here. Tayo had it deflected, then he tries to get back onto it. I'll tell you what, Amir Daly is practically hugging Tayo as he tries to get to the ball. One of those where if the referee had a second look at that, I wonder if the mind would have been changed. Amir Daly may very well have gotten away with one there. New York City didn't give up on the play, and they have a good set-piece opportunity here. Aravalo to take. It was well placed, but Schaefer is there ahead of Owusu. New York City will replenish the possession. This portion of the match, it's brought to you by MedPace, official partner of FC Cincinnati. Good action on both ends in that last sequence. Really good chance for Cincinnati at one end, and then New York City maybe a penalty appeal, and then almost created a chance as well. They still might from this sequence. Aravalo's played in nicely on the near side. Great ball across as well. Elias was in the area. And it does look like it came off a Cincinnati player last. That's going to be a New York corner. Really good ball to find Aravalo, who played a wonderful ball in as well, and that hit Jimenez to give New York City another set-piece chance. The young talent, Maximo Carrizo, bends in a good ball. Calhera couldn't quite redirect it. He gets back on it, and it's saved by Loro off the line. He hit it off the bar and kept it out. A magnificent stop to thwart Matthew Leong, who looked back in to score. A jaw-dropping save from the Cincinnati first-teamer. How did he manage it? Great header initially on the second attempt by Calhera, and Leong looks 99% chance on for him to score. It doesn't go across. Evan Lara with a remarkable save. And now both teams have come within a whisker of opening the scoring. Cincinnati's turn, and Bobatem, who's been in red-hot form, sends it over the top this time. At the moment, you cannot take your eyes off this one. Great ball from Daly to find him. Decent strike, but it was always rising. And New York City will build again. Great opening, 19.5 minutes. Challenge there, Elias. As Daly flipped over him, and Yero Elias is not only going to be guilty of a foul, he's going to be given a yellow card for his troubles. Another look. This is one where you see it called both ways sometimes, but the referee is going to deem that Elias impeded Daly's progress to get to the ball, and he picks up a yellow card. Cincinnati will get another spell of possession to try to create an opportunity. Ag-Adu. Switches it over to Gilbert. Helped along by Daly. Here's Ben Alcazar. In Bomadem. delicately placed over the top, but William Meyer is able to just get there in front of Peter Mangione. Calhera, a little back heel to play in Jimenez. Gibert had it covered. And it goes back to the magnificent Evan Lauro. Still not sure how he kept that chance out from Matthew Leong. Benalcazar brought down. Another look at that last attempt from Cincinnati. Good idea from Kenji and Bomadem, but good goalkeeping from William Meyer. Read it well and beat him to the spot. It's another foul against New York City on Benalcazar. See referees more and more starting to key in on when players are being fouled multiple times. Benalcazar is a prime candidate, being a former New York City player. It's the second time in quick succession that he's been fouled. Looks like it's another throw-in mix-up with New York City as well. They tried to get it in before the referee noticed, and it was Cincinnati's throw. Foster. Agedu. A really well-played game to this point. Schaefer. Not quite on the same page with Daly, who appreciates the effort. So many attacking options for this Cincinnati team. Seen chances already for Mbomadem, Santos. Amir Daly's had a tremendous season, 4 goals, 4 assists for him. Jimenez has been heavily involved. Isaiah Foster has been a big part of it as well. Bomadem trying to continue to put the pressure on New York. And he's fouled. It's going to be a free kick for Cincinnati. Now when Bomadem is slow to get up. Referee checks on him. No 2 minutes for him. He'll be fine. It's Chris Tayo put in the challenge. From that angle, it doesn't look like he got a ton of the ball. So it's another opportunity for Cincinnati to continue to make life difficult for New York. Daly. Aravalo. Good hold-up play. Able to get it to Steven Bednarski, who plays it right back across. And the shot in the end tame enough for Lauro to make the stop. Jimenez arrived late. It was at just the right time to get a strike away. And again, not venomous enough to stop the first-team goalkeeper. Going to take a lot more than that today to beat Evan Lauro. What an amazing stop he made earlier. There's more defending for Cincinnati to do here. Aravalo looks like he will trot over to take the corner, with New York City looking to find the opening statement in this first half. Bends the ball in. Calhera's header. Isn't a million miles away, but it goes out of play. Oh, it did take a deflection, it looks like. New York City will try from this end with Carrizo. Bends the ball in. It's headed back towards Lauro. And he's able to grab it pretty comfortably in the end. See where Maximo Carrizo was trying to place this at the back post. There's Matthew Leon would have loved another try at it. This portion of the match is brought to you by TQL, official logistics partner of FC Cincinnati. One back there by Jimenez. And Elias gets it back to him. Free kick taken quickly by New York. Bednarski's available on the near side and gets the ball. Arevalo is pushed over by Foster. No need for that. So Nichols is on the scene. And it looks like it might just be a talking to, nothing further than that. Foster's pleading his case. I'm not exactly sure what that entails. Pretty clear cut. He just shoved him over. Well, after the ball was released, and frankly, a little bit surprised that Alyssa Nichols didn't yellow card him for that. Doesn't get more blatant. Another New York free kick. Jimenez wins it. Leong is going to be forced back by Santos to Meyer. Meyer up ahead. Elias tries to follow up, but Daly is on the scene. And Gibert will clear Cincinnati's lines. Pinballs around, and Rosansky gets it back for New York City. Meyer for Owusu, pins the ball up ahead. It's well covered in the end. Ak-Edu helping out with Schaefer. And then Carrizo wins it off of Jimenez. Carrizo tries to thread it through for Calhera, and it's shepherded out by Loro. A little bit of a push there from Carrizo, got away with it. And in the end, see where he was trying to find the space for Calhera to run into. It was just a little bit too firm of a touch. New York City's done a nice job of absorbing the Cincinnati pressure and slowly but surely gaining momentum as this half has moved along. Now both teams, I mentioned it earlier, have had really good opportunities to score, but there have been missed opportunities or great goalkeeping that's thwarted that. But New York City come forward again with Arevalo. Carrizo. Jimenez. Elias gets it back from Bednarski. Then back from Arevalo. Elias, it was clever, tried to send it through. And then Mbomodem has it taken away by Bednarski. A refresh for New York. Owusu. Oh, brilliant turn from Taylor Calhera! And he finishes! It's an 8th goal of the season for Taylor Calhera. He scored in 5, I should say, straight games for New York. And New York City jump out in front. The brilliance of Taylor Calhera continues in MLS Next Pro. He's still right in the Golden Boot race. Just look at this. It's a wonderful turn and a brilliant finish. Doesn't get much better than that from one of the best goal scorers Next Pro has to offer. It takes us into a hydro break. And just when we were mentioning the momentum change in the match, New York City pounces. And they score their first goal in almost a month. Not their fault for that. But they're showing some of their freshness as the half moves along, and they have the lead over the hottest team in the league. It gives both teams a chance to reset. A lot of big moments in this first half as Matthew Pilkington talks through it with his team, but this was the first really big chance of the game. Leong stopped by the wonderful acrobatic save from Evan Laurel, got a thigh onto it, onto the crossbar and out. But it was in the middle of a momentum shift in the game, and New York City has made Cincinnati pay for missing some earlier chances. But again, the quality of the finish from Taylor Calhera should not be lost in that sequence. And as good as Evan Laura was earlier, nothing he could do about that. A goal of the highest order has put New York City ahead. Teams are back out of the hydro break to reset things. Taylor Calhera, Baltimore, Maryland native. He's just become a goal-scoring machine this season for New York City. Of course, got so many goals out of M.D. Myers. A season ago was the joint Golden Boot winner. Now, of course, playing and scoring a lot of goals for the Charleston Battery in USL Championship from MLS Next Pro. It seems like Taylor Calhera has become a bit of an understudy in that regard, and it's just been wonderful. 5 straight league goals for him. Cincinnati look to respond as Owusu looks to clear, as does Carrizo, not definitively cleared. Mbomedem gets past 2 challenges and shoots! William Meyer stops it. One of those where New York City never definitively got this clear. Great recovery by Schaefer. Wonderful skill from Mbomedem. The shot was saved. Aravalo brought down. New York City get a free kick. And a yellow card for Jimenez for not allowing New York City to get the ball and restart. Another look, Aravalo slipped initially, stayed with it, and the foul was against Santos, and then you'll see Jimenez sees that Carrizo wants to get it, picks the ball up, walks away. And again, that's really being cracked down on. Yellow card for what essentially will go down as time wasting. New York City, you can see why they want to keep the pace at a high level. They're continuing to shine as the half moves along. Benalcazar trying to slip it through. Couldn't quite link up with, I believe, Mangione, who was available. Owusu will reset for New York with just over 10 minutes left in what's been a brilliant half. Carrizo dispossessed by Foster. And then gives it away to Owusu. Benalcazar tries to win it back. Chabert helped out, but Jimenez cuts out his pass. Aravalo gliding past challenges. Chopping past another Aravalo. Tayo joins in, first time ball across, blocked by Daly, out for a New York City throw. Elias on the turn. Ball was threaded back through for Jimenez, who does so well just to keep it alive for an extra beat, but then loses out. Nice acrobatic clearance from Mangione, but New York City have become relentless. They win the ball back again. The pass for Jimenez, he's going to be cut out. This portion of the match is brought to you by First Financial Bank, official bank, FC Cincinnati. 9 minutes plus stoppage time left in the half. A New York player is down. Cincinnati can play on. Ag-Edu, cut out by Owusu. Jimenez recycles for Cincy. Bednarski was the player down. It looks like he's okay. Santos. Kenji Mbomedem. He's going to get it back and just glides a ball forward, but neither one thing nor the other. I think he was caught in two minds there, Kenji Mbomedem. Goal kick for New York. Mangione the target, that's going to go out of play. Goes back to New York. Elias, followed up not once but twice, forces it all the way back to Loro. Jimenez was there to help as well. Schaefer plays Cincinnati out of trouble, finds Daly. And Daly is dispossessed, but Benalcazar is there to help. And now Cincinnati might have a chance here to break down the far side. There's numbers in the middle. Santos, in the end, doesn't get a firm shot away. Meyer is there. Goal scorer, Calhera. Owusu. Carrizo plays in Arevalo. Wonderful weighted ball. Carrizo again. To chip it towards Bednarski. Owusu arrives with space to work with, and he tried to slide it through for Calhera. They weren't on the same page. Loro pressured by Calhera. Header is won by Leong, but Benalcazar is there. Nice ball played up ahead by Daly. Santos looks to switch the point of attack and finds Foster, who has time and space. Foster's cross is blocked out for a corner by Bednarski. Cincinnati will get a chance to find a late first half reply. From the corner, goes right to the back post. Jimenez back into the mixer. It falls for Benalcazar. Was he fouled? No, says the referee. And here comes New York up the other end. They have numbers. It's a 4-on-2. Calhera cutting it back and then shooting, and the shot is going to ricochet out of play. You you could see Jimenez, Carrizo, multiple players wanted it. That challenge actually looked clean by Arevalo on the edge of the penalty area. Calhera leads the break. And Carrizo might have been the more likely option, but Calhera cuts inside, takes the shot on, and New York City will get a corner here in the final moments of the half. 4 minutes plus stoppage time still to go. It's been a really well played first half from both sides. Arevalo's corner is short. Tayo bends the ball in, and Loro is there. Quickly releases it, trying to find Kenji and Bomadem. He does get it to him on the far side. Santos and Mangione arriving. Santos looks for space. Jimenez arrives to help. Benalcazar. Jimenez for Foster. Foster into the middle, it took a ricochet. Did Meyer keep it in? No, he did not. It's a corner. Tried to play it off there, William Meyer. It did look like it went out. Foster just about stayed on side, and then Owusu's deflection is what looks to have taken it out. Another corner for Cincy. Cincinnati will take it short. Mangione back in, Arevalo deflects it back out. Foster bends the ball in. It's a chance for Daly, headed away from him by Tayo. Retrieved by Benalcazar for a refresh. Cincinnati trying to have the last word. What's been a thriller of a first half. We've seen a wonderful goal, arguably an even better save, both at the same end of the pitch. Good step by Gibert. Benalcazar finds Foster. Foster back across. Kenji and Bomadem. It's a wonderful give and go! And it's Myers with the save. And Bomadem gets it back. Plays it across, headed away by Owusu. Daly retrieves. Jimenez helps out. It's headed centrally, and Santos is offside. And again, New York bends, but they do not break. Great skill here from Kenji and Bomadem. Lovely 1-2 with Santos. Magnificent save from Meyer. Great extra effort, and Bomadem kept it alive. Owusu was on the case. Everything happening. And then the offside flag goes up on Santos, who came back from his original offside position to get a header on it. Meyer plays it up ahead. Sure, the neutrals watching don't want this first half to end. It's been so entertaining. And the good news for those neutrals is that there's still 5 more minutes left. Meyer up ahead. Jimenez touched away from him by Bednarski. Rosansky. Carrizo. Still time for one more big moment in this half. Jimenez. Loro. Brag Adu. Oh, lovely incisive pass to find Ben Alcazar. Mbomedem out wide. Daly trying to get it right back to him. Elias and Tayo able to deal with it initially, but Cincinnati follows up. Daly's cross blocked. Elias up ahead for the goal scorer. Calhera and Gibert was able to shepherd it away from Jimenez. When Jimenez is back down again, he's been fighting through an injury for a big chunk of the half. See if Matt Pilkington has to make a halftime decision on that. We'll wait and see. 3 minutes left in the first half. Schaefer spreads the love onto the near side, finds Foster on a dime. Ag-Adu. Schaefer again, another one on the button. Nowhere for Santos to go, so he finds Ag-Adu. Gibert. Daly for Mbomedem. Daly for Ben Alcazar. It's going to be cleared away, and Carrizo and company come out with it for New York City. Elias sends it up ahead for Arevalo. Arevalo cuts it back. He stayed on side. Plays the ball across. Jimenez shoots. He's blocked by Gibert. Does go out of play. It will stay with New York. Good sequence here. Elias finds Arevalo. Did well to hold up his run in time. Make sure he stayed on side, and then great ball across, but Gibert closed down Jimenez. Stops the shot from going anywhere near the target. But here's Jimenez again. Maximo Carrizo. Looks like it did take a deflection. It'll stay right here for a New York corner. Another look, more relentless attacking play from New York City. Carrizo can certainly hit them from there. He'll take the corner as well. To the back post it goes. Leong involved with another header. Bednarski. Owusu following up on it, but Cincinnati has it. Only to give it away to the retreating Rosansky. Good turn by Carrizo. Final seconds of the half. New York City trying to add on to their lead. Tayo, little give and go with Calhera, and then Calhera again! But this time he places it well wide of the target. Such an intricate build-up play here, a give and go again. And Calhera tried with his left boot to strike it and did not get it anywhere near the target. And that is the last act of the half in Kentucky. What a half it was. Chances galore, wonderful play from both teams, really, showing you the form they've been in MLS Next Pro. It's been a wonderful occasion for the league and for both teams to this point. More of the same, please, in the second half. Our score at the half is Cincinnati 0, New York City 1. Coming up, Michelle introduces us to a pair of Philadelphia Union 2 players. All of that and more is coming up after the break.
Really sweet. Ahí está el centro. Gol. Maxi Mesa para pegarle. Maxi le pegó. Fuerza. Al frente. Servicio. El tiro. It's saved by Colin Corner. Con autoridad el centro. A la izquierda en las afueras del área le pega. Golazo. Externa va a definir Chicho. Saved by Corner. It's over.
Here we go again, taking to the streets. Here we go again, marching to our own beat. If we start to lose the rhythm in our feet, we just pick it up again, pick it up again, pick it up again. We do it in style. We can move any way we wanna move in style. We can do anything we wanna do in style. Vamos, dale pues, vamos allá, muévete más loco como solo tú lo sabes. Así es, pon las manos en la cabeza, sacúdete, 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 mira, sacúdete.
Back here at the half between Cincinnati and New York City. Great first 45 minutes. Hoping for more of the same in the second half. New York has the lead. Before we get to the second half, Michelle Montaigne recently caught up with a pair of players with Philadelphia Union 2. Here's more on CJ Olney and David Vasquez.
What's up, guys? Today we're sitting down with CJ Olney out of Philadelphia Union 2. CJ, thank you for chatting with us.
Thank you for having me.
All right, now as a professional playing in MLS Next Pro, what did it feel like to play in your first pro match?
It was really cool, especially that I got to start in my first pro match, my first real pro match of the season, and I scored as well. So it was a really cool feeling. It was definitely different. It was way more physical, way faster, but I loved the challenge. It was great to get out there and have a good performance, even though we lost, but getting the first game out of the way, getting all the nerves out was really cool.
All right, you mentioned a couple of firsts there. You also signed your first MLS Next Pro official contract. What are the emotions that came with the signing?
Yeah, it was a dream come true. I mean, ever since I was 2-3 years old, I've always loved soccer. It was always my goal to become a professional, looking up to the big guys. And it was just a really cool moment for me. It was a full circle moment for me and my family and all my friends. It was awesome.
You're one of the young stars, the one young up and coming names as part of this Philadelphia Union pipeline. What do you think makes you guys so successful from really bottom to top?
I think just our team chemistry, we all go to school together, we all hang out outside of the field together. It's just the vibe and the environment and the team. We're always together, even if we're not all trained together, some are with the 17, some with the first team, whatever the case may be. Just our team chemistry and how we'll always fight for each other no matter what. I think that's what makes our group so special.
I just talked with your head coach, and he kind of mentioned the same thing, the amount of time that you guys spend together. Why do you like being kind of in that environment?
It feels like a family, like moving away from my actual home to come here. It feels like a home away from home, living in the residency house with 11 other boys, to go into school with all my teammates. It just feels much less of a team environment, more of like a family and more connected on and off the field, which makes it so much better.
Because I'm sure there are many memories from living in that environment. What are maybe one or two of your favorite from your time here with the club?
One or two from residency or from the school and like everyone?
You can choose.
Residency? There's too many to pick from, but just the nights when we all go into the basement together and we're all hanging out playing FIFA, playing Call of Duty and all that stuff, and just competing, playing games, having fun, just everyone together. It's really fun. Playing two-touch outside almost every night, a lot of fun. And then obviously all the away games, going out with all your friends, going on walks, playing cards, cornhole, whatever it is at the hotel. It's just a lot of fun being able to bond with the team.
All right, now CJ, last one. I know you're still, building up the legacy, if you will, building up the career, but as you think about your future and what you hope to achieve, what is kind of the North Star for CJ Olney?
Obviously, want to play in the biggest games possible, play in the World Cup, Champions League, all that stuff. I'd say that's my biggest goal, is to make it to the highest level possible and just continue to grow as a person and as a player at any level.
Well, we love watching it happen. So thank you so much, CJ. We appreciate the time.
Thank you for having me.
Well, we're joining you today from the city of brotherly love. We have two guys who love each other like brothers. Now we're sitting down with David Vasquez. David, thank you for the time.
Thank you for having me.
The feeling of playing in your first MLS Next Pro match, how was it?
I mean, it was kind of unexpected for me. We played this one team. It was just kind of, they just told me, oh, we're gonna throw you on this flight, and if you play, you play. If not, then you could just go. So when they told me to warm up, it was just kind of my emotions kind of rised. And when they told me, oh, you're gonna come in, I was really stoked, and their fan base was incredible. Once I got in, they were chirping at me, but I loved it, and I thought I had a great performance. Although we lost, it was good to go out there and make the debut for the second team.
Being a homegrown player, getting to sign a homegrown contract, what are the emotions that came along with that milestone?
Well, I mean, it was a process. From the academy and all that, the emotions were high, especially when I got the homegrown. But now that I have it, it's a job now, and I'm trying to work my way up. First to get on that roster spot and hopefully get my debut as time goes by. So just kind of working towards that.
Your coach, when I talked to him, you were another name that he pointed out as one of the young up-and-comers who's making an impact for the club. How do you stand out when you have a club that's so full of young, rich talent?
Well, honestly, knowing how to play with the people around you. A lot of the guys, we play with them in the academy, so, like CJ said, we have that bond and that chemistry with them on the field. So just kind of, for me, just kind of playing free, playing my game, and just, working with our young guys and, our team around us, and just playing our game. I mean, everyone's gonna work for us. Everyone's gonna, put in 100%. So if we all do it together, we can get the outcome that we want.
CJ mentioned how close you guys are, both on and off the pitch. Being in that environment within this club, what are maybe some of your favorite memories from the time you've spent there in Chester?
Well, there's a lot, but I probably would say, I kind of don't want to copy CJ here, but just going on away trips is a good one. But here in Chester, just trainings, and then just kind of after training, you just kind of do little shoot arounds, or let's see who has the best touch, and all that. As well as special birthdays, we tend to do we get a bunch of water, we make a tunnel, and we just kind of throw a bucket of water at each other. So that's probably one of the better memories here. There's a lot to choose from, but those are the ones I could, think about on the top of my head.
I love it. Birthdays and trainings. Anyone who says trainings is definitely meant to be a soccer player. All right, David, as you think about your future and all that you hope to achieve, how do you feel like MLS Next Pro can help you achieve some of those goals?
Oh, well, no, MLS Next Pro is going to help me. The league is just like one step below the professional level. It's still professional level, but it's also people that are trying to reach that pro level. So they're going to give it all they got. So for me, it's just kind of like they're kind of pushing me to get to that next level. So it's just going out there and just working as best as I can.
We're excited to see you get to that next level, David. Thank you so much for the time.
Thank you for having me.
Vamos, dale pues, mamá ya, muévete más loco como solo tú lo sabes. Así es, pon la mano en la cabeza, sacúdete, sacúdete, mira, sacúdete.
All right, MLS store, I need something fresh and clean. Let's see what you got. I need that in my size. So I like this. Cream on cream? The fit is cold. I'm ice cream. You like that?
Messi! La pelota para que llegue. ¡Mamita querida, qué golazo! Magnifique frappe. Really, really sweet. Ahí está el centro. Gol. Para Maxi Mesa para pegarle. Maxi le pegó. Fuerza. Al frente. Servicio. El tiro.
Con autoridad el centro. A la izquierda en las afueras del área. Le pega. Golazo.
Amor al gol. Parte externa para definir Chicho.
Welcome back, everybody. Halftime here in Highland Heights, Kentucky. It is Cincinnati 0, New York City FC 1. Something's got to give. Both teams on long winning streaks and good runs of form. We'll see how the second half plays out. But here are the highlights from the first half. A first opportunity from Taylor Calhera in the opening minutes of the game, forcing a save out of Evan Loro. It'd be the sign of things to come. Both teams had big opportunities, and Bomadem there had headed away from him by William Meyer. Was able to come off of his line. Cincinnati continued the sequence really well. Daly places the ball into the middle, and Santos' header goes agonizingly wide. Then Mangione from a free kick. New York City able to just about deal with it with navy blue shirts queuing up. Carrizo from a corner. Calhera's gets two headers on it, but this was the wonderful save from Evan Loro. Still not sure how he quite did that, but it went off his thigh, off the bar and out. New York City kept on pushing, however. Wonderful spin and shot from Taylor Calhera for his 8th goal of the season, and he's just 3 goals off the Golden Boot leader, David Pareba, for Chicago. Since he had a big chance as well in Bomadem, saved by William Meyer. Tried to follow up, played the ball back across into the middle. Santos couldn't get there. Daly was able to keep it alive for Jimenez, and Santos was in an offside position, bringing the sequence to a close. So a frantic, a wild, a fascinating first half here in Kentucky as we look at back and a little bit ahead at the MLS Next Pro Match Week 17 into 18 schedule. Big wins, by the way, midweek for North Texas. Friday night, Austin getting back on track. Huge win there. Crown Legacy and Philadelphia getting nice road wins, and then that crazy 7-goal thriller that saw St. Louis hold on to take out LAFC 2. And of course, on Wednesday, big opportunity for Revs 2 to get back on track. They host Huntsville. And then we mentioned David Pareba, his Chicago Fire side, take on Toronto at 3 p.m. on July 10th. So a lot of action to look forward to as Week 17 moves into Week 18 in MLS Next Pro. The first half's about to move into the second half here in Kentucky. Sean St. Jacques, our entire crew, hope you've enjoyed it so far. We certainly have. As Taylor Calhera's goal has New York ahead with 45 minutes to go. And remember, there's a lot on the line here. New York City coming off their long break of almost a month. They've won 3 straight, unbeaten in their last 6. Can they keep that streak running? And Cincinnati have won 4 in a row, and they've won 9 of their last 10. So something's got to give here tonight. There were a couple of halftime adjustments, both made by FC Cincinnati. They're coming on your screen now. Moises Tablante came on for Isaiah Foster, and Steven Jimenez was on a yellow card. He is off. And we'll get to see Yair Ramos come on to replace him. So a double swap for Tyrone Marshall's side, who are down by a goal at home. Kind of a big crowd here in Highland Heights, Kentucky. We'll see if they can turn things around in the second half. Or will New York City continue their strong performance? Gibert. Good pressure from Jimenez. Goes right back to New York. That's a good step in defensively by Bednarski. New York City get a chance here to build something. Arevalo back to him. Bednarski across. It was in a good space, but nobody was there. In a white shirt for New York City. Allows Cincinnati to build up the other end. We saw a lot of opportunities for both teams in that first half. Of course, the 2 big moments. The Loro save. He just hit it off his thigh and off the bar, off the header from Matthew Leong, and then a really well taken finish from Taylor Calhera in the 30th minute. That has New York City ahead. Should say the other streak that is in play here tonight is one that goes on the New York City side of things. Zibomadem takes a strike on. Meyer is there. New York City have scored 3 or more goals in their last 5 MLS Next Pro matches, which is a remarkable feat in itself. They would have to score 2 more to keep that run going on top of their great run just of results in the league. Talked about how Calhera's now scored in 5 straight league matches. Jonathan Jimenez has a bit of a streak going as well. He's had an assist in each of his last 3 appearances in league play. Looks like this is going to be a free kick for New York. Meyer resets. Leong. Floats it up ahead. Daly pokes it forward, and it's going to be cleared away by Rosansky. Elias helps it along, and Gibert had it caught underneath him. Elias followed up. Jimenez pokes it down the line. He's going to have a chance here to get onto this. Jimenez again. Oh, he's brought down on the edge of the penalty area. It's a free kick, and it's going to be a yellow card as well. Brian Schaefer booked. Great job by Jimenez. Got past the first challenge from Ramos and then gets clipped just outside the penalty area. Schaefer on a yellow. And New York City with Uncle Mo on their side, if you will, have a set piece opportunity with a chance to double their lead. Aravalo with Carrizo to his right. Aravalo's going to shoot! And it's parried away by Loro. Tried to catch him out, but the first teamer was having none of it. He was well positioned to begin with, Evan Loro. And I think he had it covered regardless of which side of the post that was potentially going to hit. Good goalkeeping, and it leads to a New York City corner. Aravalo bends it in. It was headed by Calhera. In the end, it falls kindly for Evan Loro once again. Outletted onto the far side for the substitute Tablante. He finds Daly on the near side. Daly eased it along, but not able to play it into the path of Kenji and Bomadem, who's also trying to keep a goal-scoring run of form going for Cincinnati. Nice little clip by Mbomadem. He gets it back from Daly on the turn. And then plays the ball in behind for Tablante, who tried to thread it across. It was blocked anyway, but Tablante is offside. And it's a moot point in the end from a Cincinnati perspective. New York City gets it right back into play. Once again, though, right idea from Kenji and Bomadem. You could see why he placed it where he did, but it just didn't quite materialize. Elias can't keep it in play. Of course, there's 3 other live games going on right now. It's going to penalties between Columbus and Toronto. They're tied at 2. New York Red Bulls all over Atlanta in Montclair. They lead 4-1 early in the second half. They're about where we're at in the game right now. And Orlando City B have a lead of 1-0 over Carolina Core. Cincinnati looking for a response here. Owusu gets a big boot onto that. That cross was traveling inside the penalty area. Cincinnati get a corner out of it. Second look, if Owusu doesn't touch that, by the way, Mangione and maybe Daly are in good positions to have a shot at getting a touch onto that. Corner will be taken by Mbomadem. Curls it in. Schaefer's header. He's going to go wide. It's solid service from Kenji and Bomadem. Tough angle for Schaefer to really get enough power on the header. This portion of the match is brought to you by Allegiant, the official airline of FC Cincinnati. Tablante. Carrizo. One back by Tablante. step over from Tablante. Owusu cleans it up. It is at the expense of a corner. In Bomadem. Jabert. He got his head to it, but a foul is going to go against Cincinnati in the build-up. And New York can alleviate the pressure for now. It's going to be fluttered up ahead, looking for Calhera. Schaefer's on the chase. And his clearance, he's going to give it right back to New York. Loro. Thought about going up the far channel. He's going to play it short. New York City with all those extra games in hand on everybody else. Any points they can get put them potentially in a very, very good spot. There's 9 to 12 points they can make up on some of these teams around them in the East. They came into the night, look at the Next Pro Eastern Conference table, in 8th place on 22 points. Just 9 back of Cincinnati. That's why a win for New York could potentially be oh so crucial. There's a nibble there. It's a Cincinnati free kick. Of course, these are also two teams in the 3-year history of MLS Next Pro that have never made it to the playoffs. Both are in good position to end that short drought this season. And who knows, the way it could shake out. They could play each other, you never know. In Bomadem, again tried to find Schaefer. Piero Elias is there. It goes out of play. There's no signal from the assistant. Now there is. It is a throw-in. Long throw from Daly. That's going to be headed out. It's going to be a Cincinnati corner. Kenji and Bomadem will have a chance to provide more solid service for Cincinnati. Bomadem swings it in. Meyer comes forward and does get a punch on it, crucially. And Cincinnati will switch sides for another corner kick opportunity. Another look. If Meyer doesn't get to that, who knows? Goalkeepers have to get contact in those kinds of scenarios. Take two from the corner. Oh, with the near post, Santos trying to get ahead onto that. Handball appeals come in from some of the Cincinnati players. On we go. Tablante spears one back towards the edge of the penalty area, and the header is redirected into the path of Meyer. Another header that required high levels of technique. That's a giveaway. Cincinnati wins the ball back. Tablante. Benalcazar. Daly across. Santos equalizes! Guilherme Santos brings Cincinnati level. and the hosts celebrate. It's 1-1. It all stems from the takeaway. Rosansky has his pocket picked. Beautiful build-up play, starting with Tablante, Benalcazar to Daly, and Santos with a tidy finish inside the penalty area. It's his second goal of the season. And Cincy are back in it. Right after that, Cincinnati have made a change. Mangione is out. Stefan Cirilla is on. Half an hour to go. Cincinnati have found parity. We could be on for a wonderful finish here from a neutral's perspective. This one could still go either way. If it stays like this, of course, we'll have the drama of penalties. That's always worth keeping in the back of the mind. Both teams are certainly going to go for it before we get anywhere near that. Jimenez, was he stopped? Yes, he's the answer. Impeded his progress. It's a New York free kick. New York City will get a chance at an immediate response. Great team goal from Cincinnati at one end. Oh, and Alyssa Nichols was actually having a word with one or two of the substitutes in that corner. One of them got booked. We're just told it was Alejandro Guido booked for dissent. If he comes on, that's going to be worth keeping in mind. Meanwhile, Aravalo's in for New York. It's another good save from Evan Loro at a tight angle. It's a corner for New York after another close call. Daly actually pokes it through for Aravalo. Might have gone side netting or hit the outside of the post, but Evan Loro can't take too many risks there and was right to parry it out of danger. From the corner, it's headed out of trouble for now. Oh, it bounced over Tayo's head, but Carrizo followed up and he handled the ball. It's a Cincinnati free kick. Santos is played in behind. A couple New York City players catch up to him, but then it's played in behind for Tablante. Tablante across, and Cirilla couldn't get a touch on it. Lightning quick counterattack from Cincy. Tablante switched sides, and Cirilla, who's the joint leading goal scorer for Cincinnati this season, could not quite get a header onto it. But it goes out for a corner. More pressure upcoming for Cincinnati. Cincinnati looking to turn the game on its head. In Boumedienne's service, Gibert! Right down the middle for Meyer. Kenji and Boumedienne so consistent with his quality of service. Decent header by Gibert, but not nearly enough on it to trouble the goalkeeper. Was that a foul on the far side? It's a throw-in. Referee in the signal. Goes back to FC Cincinnati 2. Earlier goal from Taylor Calhera canceled out. A wonderful finish from Guilherme Santos for Cincy. And that's where we stand right now, one each. Gibert up ahead. It's headed down for Rosansky. Tayo up ahead. couldn't find Calhera. Gibert. Beautifully won back by Jonathan Jimenez. Oh, but it's a poor pass back, and Meyer just about got there before Cirilla. Another look. Jimenez did so well. Then, under pressure, not the best pass back from Leong, and Meyer, who may have been fouled there, by the way, was able to bail him out. Back and forth we go in Kentucky. Ramos sends it out to the far side to Blante. To Blante to the byline. Oh, he kept it in, did he, Cirilla? No, it's a goal kick. He did not keep the ball in. Great effort by Tablante, but looks like it may have just snuck over the end line. Cirilla tried a little cheeky back heel. It was a moot point. This portion of the match is brought to you by Cintas, official partner, FC Cincinnati. Just under 25 minutes plus stoppage time left. That one went out of play. We'll go back to New York City. Leong spreads it out to the far side, but not on the same page, it appears, with Aravalo. It's going to roll out of play for a throw-in.
There's no, maybe you make by half sign, but there's no way to.
Cincinnati was told to take the throw-in from where it went out. It's right back into play. Wusu retrieves for New York. Narski can't quite get around to Blante, but wins a throw-in out of it. Aravalo dispossessed. Ramos gives it right back. Here's Maximo Carrizo, just easing his way past challenges. Calhera helps out. Carrizo steps in and is going to be penalized for stepping in. It's a free kick for Cincinnati. That ends a promising opportunity potentially there for New York.
Regardless of whether it's open or not.
Helped along by Mbomodem. Owusu's there uncontested. It was flicked on by Aravalo, but Calhera is not in the vicinity. I told you earlier that Columbus and Toronto went to penalties. Crew 2 won 7-6 on spot kicks to get the extra point off of TFC2. Another change in a score is that Carolina Core have come from behind to lead at Orlando. We're 1-0 down last time we checked in on them. Carolina now has a 2-1 lead with 20 minutes to play. How about that? Meanwhile, Cincinnati trying to do the same thing here. Daly finds Tablante. Tablante across, and Aravalo wasn't going to take any chances. Stepped in before that could go anywhere and clears it out for a Cincy corner. Of course, there's still one more game to go later on tonight. Tacoma Defiance taking on Benny Feilhaber's group, SKC2, 10 p.m. Eastern. Good one out west to finish out the weekend. Mbomodem Usu's header. Ramos couldn't get there. Jimenez dispossessed. Daly just puts it back in the mix, but Schaefer couldn't help it along. Arevalo beaten to it by Daly. Tablante spins away from Carrizo. And tries to pick out Santos. He finds him on the near side. Santos for Benalcazar. Benalcazar across. It was over the top of Mbomedem. Retrieved by Tablante. Schaefer. Or Gibert. Daly. Daly's chest down. Gibert snuck that through for Mbomedem. A step over, and then a foul. Tayo putting in the challenge, and he's booked as well, Chris Tayo. It's gonna be a free kick for Cincinnati in a good position. After good work from Mbomedem. Tayo left his foot out. It's a yellow card for the challenge, and now from a good distance away, Mbomedem and Santos will mull this one over for Tyrone Marshall's men. New York City led at the half. Santos is the one who equalized for Cincinnati. He's going to stand over this free kick. Strikes it right into the wall. Arevalo blocks it. Daly tried to send it right back in. He was blocked. Cirilla. Oh, he played it back across. Gibert was there, but it was touched away from him. Tablante. It's taken away by Rosansky. New York trying to pounce, but Daly does well to get in the way. And he's pushed over, I think, by Calhera. Ramos out wide. Great switch of play. Tablante to Daly. Mbomedem. Benalcazar. Ramos was touched away from him. New York City comes out with possession, but Jimenez just comes off a bit worse for wear. Gives it away to Mbomedem. A Travella cross to Tablante. Tablante! Meyer parries it. Daly on the scene. Sends it back in. Meyer is there to make the catch ahead of Benalcazar. Great curling ball out wide. Tablante thought, I've got the space. Good save in the end from Meyer. Followed up on by Daly, and in the end, maybe too much height on it. Gave Meyer enough time to get underneath it. Cincinnati get back on the ball. Ramos for Tablante. Gibert. Daly couldn't quite get it past Tayo. Elias up ahead. Nearly found kindly for Arevalo. Dealt with by London Agedu. Up ahead, Elias. Ooh, Ramos. Actually meant to do it. He may have taken him out there. Cirilla. Oh, it's a lovely cutback. Wusu is there to put out the fire. And then he's bundled over by Ramos. Look, just before that, Ramos left a boot in there, but Cincinnati continued on. Cirilla, lovely little cutback, but too many white shirts around him, and Owusu does really well to snuff it out. Well, Jonathan Jimenez really tried to fight on in this game. Give him credit for that. He's going to come out here. Julian Locker is going to take his place. And that's not the only change that's going to be made. It does look like Cincinnati at least are readying change, but for now, looks like we'll have a second half hydro break. It did look like that Cincinnati were going to bring on Jesus Castellano. That's exactly what's going to happen. And that will be the end of the night for Kenji Mbomedem, who was really, really strong. Didn't get a chance to add on to his goal tally. Certainly made a positive impact on the match with his play. And as soon as the fourth official puts up the board during this hydro break, that change, I should say, will become official. By the way, that New York City swap, that was their first change of the night. Not unlike Matt Pilkington to wait a little extra longer to make a stop as the Castellano for Mbomedem change is confirmed. Gives us a chance to look back on the big moments of the match to this point. We've seen two really well-taken goals. The first in the 30th minute from Taylor Calhera, his 5th straight goal in a league match. In MLS Next Pro, his 8th of the season. Gave New York City a lead at the break. However, Cincinnati would get the ball back and would get the equalizing goal. Santos slotting it in, and Cincinnati are level, and that's where we stand at the moment. Equalizing goal came in the 59th minute. 1-1. Still a lot of time left for someone to grab some late Next Pro glory here. Tie out as the hydro break is ended, and we're back to live action. 13 minutes plus stoppage time left. Leong out wide for Samuel Owusu. Aravalo. Calhera. A reverse pass, he was not able to get it there. Bednarski for Elias. Owusu gets it back for Jake Rosansky. Owusu's forced all the way back to William Meyer. Now then, Ramos. Cirilla gets it back from the goal scorer, Santos. And Cincinnati trying to make it 5 straight wins and 10 in their last 11. New York City looking for their 4th straight win to stay unbeaten in their last 7 games in 90 minutes of Next Pro. Challenge came in there. Santos a bit worse for wear. I believe it's a New York free kick. This portion of the match is brought to you by CTI Clinical Trial and Consulting, official partner of FC Cincinnati. Sean St. Jacques, our entire crew. Hope you've enjoyed it so far. It's been a wonderful game. MLS Next Pro Soccer. Will we have some late drama? It's going to be a foul and a free kick for New York. Well, again, there were questions about the long layoff. You know, will a team be fresher out of that, or will it take them a moment to get their bearings? To be fair, first 15 minutes, Cincinnati made New York work quite a bit, but Matt Pilkington's side didn't take long to adjust. They grabbed momentum in that first half. They got the lead as well. Talked about that earlier. Cincinnati, at this fortress that they've built in Highland Heights, have responded. Now we'll see who can potentially grab a winner in the last 10 minutes plus stoppage. Here is Santos, another Trivela ball up ahead. Shirilla with a good touch, and he tried to play it across for Castellano. It's cut out by Matthew Leong, who was in the right place at the right time. But Cincinnati get the ball back. Stefan Shirilla looks for space, doesn't have any to work with initially. He has Daly for help. And Daly is forced all the way back to Gibert. Locker's challenge on Daly, sees it go out of play, just to the right of Matt Pilkington. Schaefer swings a leg at it up ahead. It was cut out by Bednarski, and will go back to Cincinnati. There's Ben Alcazar. Ends up playing a big part in getting an assist against his former team. Santos up ahead. That touch allows Daly to try to get in behind, but good recovery, sees New York get possession back. Zansky for Locker, who has scored for New York City this season. Actually scored in their last game, June 12th. That 3-1 win over Toronto we talked about earlier. He scored in stoppage time to seal the points. Could he be a late hero again tonight? Oh, that's a giveaway by Schaefer. Arevalo for New York. Plays in Locker. Locker for Calhera. Back for Locker. Oh, was just too far ahead of him. Cincinnati clears only as far as tie-out. Elias. Elias again. Gets it back out wide for Locker. Maximo Carrizo slow to get up for New York City. Elias. Tayao for Leong. And it's poked out by Daly. I believe it's a New York City throw-in. And then there was a booking on the back end of that. Booking for London, I should say, Ag-Edu for Cincinnati. Or I believe his earlier challenge on Carrizo. Meanwhile, Calhera following up. Sent ahead by Tablante. Calhera, another clever turn into the penalty area. 2 on him. And it's going to be poked out of play. New York City will get a chance to put this into the penalty area. Meanwhile, Gael Gibert was in a bit of discomfort there for Cincinnati. Needed a moment. He looks to be okay. Ronald Arevalo to take the corner for New York. Goes to the back post, and it's caught comfortably by Evan Loro, who's been wonderful today for the hosts. Daly coming down on the final 5 minutes of normal time in Highland Heights. Schaefer. Gibert. Gets it back from Ben Alcazar and has space to work with, but not for long. Good step by Elias, and Locker gets it back to him. Elias up ahead, Calhera tries to play in Ronald Arevalo. Arevalo gets there, but was not fouled. Tablante tells him to get up, as does the referee. And Cincinnati gets back in possession. Oh, good effort by Carrizo to try to win the ball back. Castellano recovers. Tablante able to get past the challenge from Bednarski. Plays it across. Santos for Amir Daly! And his cross back across is cut out. Daly tries to continue on. He stays with it. Was he tripped up by Locker? No. Santos for Cirilla. Recovered again by Benalcazar. And then played ahead. Bednarski's there again. And then another bad challenge comes in from Agadu, who's already been booked. New York continues going. Referee stops it. Oh, it's going to be a red card. Yes, Agadu. I was going to say he's already been booked. The referee stopped it. I'm not sure if it's for a second yellow or a straight red, but regardless, Cincinnati are down to 10. London Agadu had already been booked earlier in the half. It looks like the referee had the yellow and the red out. We'll await confirmation, but regardless, Agadu is sent off. Just another in a long line of frantic sequences in the game. It began with a golden chance for Cincinnati. Daly may be more likely to shoot there than the pass. He passes. New York City had it covered. It was great extra effort by Daly, who tumbled, stayed with it, thought maybe he had been fouled. Cincinnati continued to fight on, but New York dealt with it. They got it out of trouble. They re-entered it. Perez with the challenge. Then there's the challenge from Agadu that gets him sent off for, I believe, it was a second yellow that turns into a red. Cincinnati down to 10. That's confirmed, by the way. It was a second yellow that turns into a red. The other part of that is that the referee saw that New York City had advantage. However, the reason that it was brought back was because the challenge leads to a second yellow and a red. The referee has to do it right there if it leads to a red card. If it's just a yellow, advantage can play, but because it's a yellow that leads to a red, that's why Alyssa Nichols had to stop the play rightly and deliver the bad news to London Agadu. And with Cincinnati down to 10, we roll the ball back into live action. 2 minutes plus stoppage left. Arevalo. Now Cincinnati under the adversity here, trying to see this out and maybe send us to penalties. Bednarski back for Owusu. Arevalo from Carrizo. Arevalo behind Carrizo on the return.
That's a big hurdle.
Owusu. Tayao taking down towards minute 90 in Kentucky. going to be interesting to see how much stoppage time there's going to be left. Got a hydro break and multiple stoppages, so we will see. Carrizo gives the ball away. Castellano up ahead. Santos tries to catch up to it. He will get there. Do the 10 men have a late trick up their sleeves here, Cincinnati? Daly and Elias wins it back for New York. Locker plays it square for Carrizo. Bednarski joins in. About to find out how much time we'll have left. It's gonna be a grandstand finish here. There's gonna be 5 more minutes to play. That feels about right. Elias out wide. Bednarski for Carrizo. Owusu. Tayao. Locker, who was the late hero against Toronto almost a month ago in New York City's last game. Rosansky. Aravalo. Bednarski. It stays in play for a moment, but as Tablante touches it, it goes out for a New York City corner. Maximo Carrizo to take. Carrizo tried to find Calhera. Goalkeeper's ball, Loro is there. Cincinnati all of a sudden, because they're down to 10, it's the team that maybe wouldn't be against going to a shootout. It looked like they were potentially on the path to coming back and winning. It's been such a thriller to watch here. And it has been well played. Obviously, Aguedu with the mistake, but he had a great game up until that point. Here's Aravalo! Oh, it's touched away by Loro. It just went past Calhera, but Loro wasn't sure if there was anyone on the backside. Just parried it out of danger. Santos with a wonderful reverse ball to Castellano. He's gonna play into Blante. Castellanos in the middle. That's who he aims for. And Castellanos forced wide to try to keep it in play, and he does save it. Castellano for Santos. Reverse ball for Cirilla. Cirilla battling for it, and he stays with it. Cirilla with 3, 4, 5 players around him. Thinks better of continuing. Castellano. And it'll be a recycle for Daly. Just over 2 minutes left. Sent ahead by Loro. But nobody there for Cincinnati, and Bednarski settles it down for New York. Owusu. Still feels like there's enough time for one more big twist. Bednarski. Tayao. Locker. Elias to Rosansky. Those two combined as it's sent back to the far side. Bednarski again. Carrizo. Aravalo. Deflected! Oh, it's just wide. Out for a corner as Calhera was waiting in the middle. Everyone on the edge of their seats here in Highland Heights. Can New York win it in the final minute? Aravalo. Rosansky. Elias Cirilla clears it away for Cincinnati. Remember, if it stays like this, we will go to penalties to decide who gets an additional point. Matt Pilkington's trying to make a couple of substitutions. Will there be enough time for them? Carrizo. Calhera. Back across. Owusu. Oh, Taya wasn't there. And it goes out for a goal kick. That will allow New York City substitutions to happen. This is the chance for Arevalo. Great stop by Loro. He's just not going to know what's happening behind him. Had to play it safe. More New York City late chances. Arevalo, that was off of Benalcazar, of all people, the former New York player, goes out of play. Camila Azam Ruiz, by the way, was just brought on. And Nicholas Kapanadze also coming on, taking off Bednarski. Late double swap for New York City. And that is how the match ends in normal time. Cincinnati stays unbeaten over their last 5 and 10 of their last 11. New York City stays unbeaten in their last 7 in the 90 minutes. A wonderful game between two wonderful teams that will be decided from the penalty spot. Again, both teams will get a point. It's worth mentioning, of course, Next Pro rules. The penalty shootout will determine who gets an additional point. Again, just to confirm, those two New York City changes at the end, which could impact penalties, by the way. We saw Camila Azam Ruiz come on for Ronald Arevalo. Steven Bednarski came off as well. Nicholas Kapanadze is the one who also came on. Again, it finishes 1-1. We'll go to penalties. Here's a refresher of how the end of the games work in MLS Next Pro.
All right, MLS store, I need something fresh and clean. Let's see what you got. I need that in my size.
Cream on cream? The fit is cold. I'm ice cream. You like that?
At the end of regulation, since the teams are tied on the scoreboard, the match will extend to a shootout, with each team having 5 attempts. If the teams are tied after 5 attempts, they will go to sudden death. The shootout winner will receive an extra point in the regular season standings.
We mentioned it earlier again, because we're in a penalty kick shootout scenario, both teams have already been awarded a point, and now we will see who will gain an additional point, which really matters in MLS Next Pro in the table. There's just no questions about that. So this one really matters for these two teams. For Cincinnati, they have not won a penalty kick shootout to this point in the season. New York City's won 1 shootout to this point. So we will see. Something, again, fittingly enough in this game, has to give in the shootouts. And we'll get to see 2 great goalkeepers go right back to work in Evan Loro, the first teamer for Cincinnati, and William Meyer for New York City. Had the coin toss to decide who goes first, of course, to decide which end we go on as well. It does look like New York City are going to take first, which some would tell you is an advantage. We'll see how that plays out. Piero Elias is going to be first up to take. A lot of pressure, taking the first penalty, trying to get New York City off on the right foot in the shootout. And that's exactly what Elias does. Sends Loro the wrong way, and New York City have the early advantage. You can't do a much better job than that. Right in the corner, and Loro went the wrong way anyway. So it's 1-0 to New York City, and this is a big one. The former New York City player, Nico Benalcazar, is going to take against his former club to even the shootout. Benalcazar, oh, how good is that? Ice cold from the penalty spot, and he rubs a little salt in it against his former employers. Wonderfully done. Nerves of steel to make it 1-1. Next up for New York, Taylor Calhera scored the goal in the 30th minute. 8 goals on the season, likely puts him right back in the Golden Boot conversation. How's his nerve from the penalty spot to try to give New York City their lead back? He scores. Another Jorginho impression, little hop, skip, and a jump. And Taylor Calhera slots it in. 2-1 New York. Now then, one of Cincinnati's joint leading goal scorers with 4 of them this season, Stefan Cirilla, is going to take second for FC Cincinnati. Can he even the shootout through 2 rounds? Cirilla just about gets it past William Meyer, I think. The goalkeeper got a touch onto that. Not enough of one. And it's 2-2 through 2 rounds. Meyer gets a good amount of contact onto that. But the pace beats him. And it's 2 goals apiece. And remember, Matt Pilkington made 2 late substitutions right at the end. Here's one of them, Camille Azam Ruiz. Didn't play a minute in the match. Came on at the end for this moment here. He steps up for New York and scores for New York. Good decision from Matt Pilkington, to say the least. Wonderful penalty. 3-2 New York. Well, 1 goal scorer has already converted. Here comes the other. Guilherme Santos equalized in normal time, just in front of the hour mark. Can he equalize in the shootout to make it 3 apiece? Boy, the crowd has been hushed for most of this shootout. High tension. That's why the league has these moments for the players to experience. Santos steps up and scores. Brilliant penalty. Sends Meyer the wrong way. He answers the call for Cincinnati, and it's 3-3 through 3 rounds. And this one, there was never really any doubt. Round 4 for New York. We'll see the young and talented Maximo Carrizo step up. Carrizo to give New York a lead again. Oh, it's saved by Loro! Evan Loro reads it all the way. It's the first miss in the shootout, and it gives Cincinnati a chance to gain the lead for the first time in the shootout. Carrizo the first to falter. And that gives Cincinnati a window of opportunity. Tyrone Marshall sends up Moises Tablante to take an all-important 4th spot kick. a spot kick that could actually make it match point for Cincinnati for the additional point. Meyer called upon for New York in goal. It's a Blante. Oh, it is saved by Meyer. What a response from the New York City goalkeeper. Neither team scores in round 4, and it stays even at 3. Huge stop. And New York can take the lead back in round 5. Matt Pilkington is going to send up Samuel Owusu, who's been tremendous all game for New York. Can he give New York match point? He goes quickly and he scores. Caught almost everybody out, including Evan Loro. 4-3 New York City, and it's match point. Loro just had to guess. He went so quickly, Owusu. It pays off, and now Cincinnati has to score to extend it, and they will go to Brian Schaefer to do the honors. Big pressure moment for him. Has to score past Meyer. But Meyer saves again! And New York City wins the shootout by 4-3. Goalkeeping heroics from William Meyer give New York City an additional point. In the end, New York City wins its second shootout of the season, and they leave Kentucky with 2 points after a wonderful MLS Next Pro occasion. Now, so many twists and turns throughout the match. It's only fitting that there were that many twists and turns in the shootout. William Meyer is the hero for New York. And Cincinnati will have to settle for a point. Again, both teams deserved something from the game. That is a given. And who knows, these two teams, when it gets to the end of the regular season, and we're talking playoffs, they may very well see each other a few more times this season. You can see why these two teams have been two of the toughest recently to beat in MLS Next Pro. Talked about it now, 7 unbeaten for New York City. It's 5 in a row unbeaten, 10 of 11 unbeaten for Cincinnati. Let's take a look at our Adidas man of the match tonight. It's Taylor Calhera, who scored the opening goal, a wonderful goal from him. 5th straight game in the league that he has scored. And on top of that, he scores in the shootout as well for New York City on the road to 2 points here in Cincinnati. Matt Pilkington's talked to us about how good New York City at times this season have been on the road. It showed up again tonight. After a long layoff without a game, New York City were more than up to the task tonight. Both teams leave with something, just 1 point for Cincinnati, and in the end, their winning streak comes to an end. New York's as well comes to a close, but they do win their second shootout of the season, and they grab 2 points in the end after a 4-3 win on penalties. After a 1-1 finish to a tremendous game in regulation. That's gonna do it from Kentucky. For our entire MLS Next Pro broadcast crew, I'm Sean St. Jacques. Our final score in regulation was 1 goal apiece, but New York City wins it 4-3 in the shootout. They leave with 2 points. Cincinnati leaves with 1. Don't forget, you can watch MLS Next Pro all season long at MLS Season Pass on Apple TV and on MLSNextPro.com. Good night, everybody, from Highland Heights.
This copyrighted broadcast of Major League Soccer may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Major League Soccer.